Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books, because I do, you know? Anyway, welcome to my video today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How many times can I say welcome? Welcome to my video, which is a review of With Malice by Eileen Cook, which I buddy read with Philippe at the YA Reader. I will link his channel below, and you guys can go check out his review video of it. I don't think it's up yet. But when he'll have it done the next couple days because it's Sunday, and Philippe, we were supposed to have our video up on Sunday or have our review ready for Sunday. He takes me very seriously, so I'm just joking, Philippe. But anyway, and honestly, he had asked to read it in 24 hours, and I was like, can you give me till Sunday on the heels of Booktubeathon? So we gave each other till Sunday to have this book read. And I literally read it over 3 days, and that was only because, like, one day I just didn't feel like reading anything at all. But I easily could have got this book done in one sitting or even just like a day and a half. It's a super, super easy read, you guys. Okay, so if you watch my previous videos, preface this by saying, all of my video reviews are spoiler-free, okay? If I'm going to do a review on here of a book that I've read, I do not, unless I think it's a book that really, really needs to be talked about, I don't want to ruin it for somebody. That being said, I don't mind spoilers in videos if I've already read the book. I sometimes seek them out to see if, like, oh, what their opinions were, if they agreed, if they disagreed, what they found, things like that. So anyway, yeah, so, like, but all of my video reviews will be spoiler-free. And starting August 1st, every book that I read, I'm going to start doing a review on. I really kind of struggled this for a while. I was like, do I really want to do reviews of every book that I read? I mean, some of the books don't deserve it and whatever. And I thought, you know what? You signed up on BookTube. You signed up for it. Suit up, show up. Because you wanted to do book reviews. And I really do, you guys. I really want to sit down, if it's for 2 minutes or 20 minutes, and talk about a book and whether I loved it or hated it and what made me really think about it. So anyway, starting August 1st, every book I read, I'm going to do a book review on. So that'll be a lot of book reviews. All right, so what did I think of With Malice by Eileen Cook? Well, if you watch my previous videos, the first day that I was reading this, I was really, really struggling with it. I was like 50 pages into it, and I was like, it's very pretentious. There's a lot of label dropping. Either Eileen Cook is a very, very good writer, or I don't really know what she's doing. If she's just trying to appeal to a certain audience of teenage girls or boys that would maybe like this, I didn't know. Going into it, the story concept is so unique that I thought she either just thought of this on a whim, and I looked at all of her other books, and they're, I wouldn't say they're as deep as this. They're more like contemporary romances, or young adult contemporary romances, so I was kind of surprised as to where this book might go. And I was like, is she really that sophisticated of a writer? Just be real honest, Peter. I didn't have any faith in this book when I started it. In fact, when I watched Ariel Bassett's review of it, she kind of just was like, yeah, I finished it and it was good, and so she didn't really say a whole lot about it. And then I watched somebody else's review about it and they didn't really say anything, so I was like, okay, what's going on with this With Malice book? Like, did we pick the wrong book to buddy reads? Because I thought, like, is this going to be total crap? So anyway, that's where I was when I started it. I really didn't even think I would get through it. I was really, like, dragging my feet the first 50 pages. Something around page 50 or 60 happened. Now, let me tell you what this book is about. So the book is about this girl named Jill. And when we meet Jill, she is waking up out of unconsciousness in the hospital, okay? And at first, it's hard to kind of read when you've seen a lot of, like, movies and television shows and read books about, like, patients in hospitals, because it's not clinical whatsoever. And it takes you a while to realize that the point of view is done so fantastically that she's really, it's all done from the way that a teenager would see it. And I don't know how to explain that. I mean, you have to read it to understand, but, like, everything that you see, from how the hospital room is set up to her interactions with her family to her, you know, best friend, all this kind of stuff is all told through the eyes of a teenager. It's done so well that it's something that I haven't really witnessed before in a young adult novel. You know, I think, like, John Green has really captured that. But, like, even, like, some of my other favorite writers, like Gail Forman, I don't think has captured that. Like, in If I Stay, I just read. You know, David Levithan, I don't think really sees it. I think he sees it more as, like, an adult writing from a teen. I mean, you can feel the adult in there. You don't feel the adult in reading this book. You feel the teenager. And it's really an interesting point of view. It's done very, very well. So when we meet Jill, she's coming out of unconsciousness into the hospital, and her doctor's there, and her parents are there, and they're very nice and concerned, but at the same time, they're very like weary of her, and she has no recollection of how she got into the hospital whatsoever. And what you learn in, let's say the first 20 or 30 pages, 20 pages, because that's as far as I'm going to go, is that she was involved in a fatal car accident in Italy while she was on vacation there for a school trip. And her best friend, Simone, this is all in the synopsis on the book on the sleeve, so if you want to buy it, it's all right there. Her best friend, Simone, is killed in a car accident. They think that she may have had something to do with it. Simultaneously, at the same time, this goes along with her mom and dad fighting all the time. They're divorced. And she gets this roommate named Anna, who is probably my favorite character in the whole book. Okay, what's interesting about this book, so anyway, that's the premise for the whole story, and then it's really a murder mystery going through the whole novel, and, you know, as her mind clears up and she starts remembering things, it's also interspersed with, like, police reports, interviews from different people that were there, including other students on the trip, to the teacher that was over, you know, the chaperone, and all of these kinds, and I'm leaving a big part out because where it goes, you do not see coming. But it's not an unfair mystery. Like, it unfolds in a very fair way. And it's interesting because at the same time that I was reading this, I was listening to, on Audible, Ruth Ware's The Woman in Cabin 10, which is, like, right now in the United States, like, #4 on the bestseller list. It's been there for 3 weeks. It is, like, getting fantastic reviews, on and on and on. It's supposedly the next woman, a girl on the train. I do not know who is reading this book. You guys know I give 100% honest reviews. If the book is worth anything, I will say go read it. It is the most bore-ass book I have ever read in my entire life. I could care less about the characters. I could care less about the mystery. I have no clue what's going on. This book right here should be that mystery. I mean, like, the mystery in this book is it unfolds so well, and it is so well done. And the fact that it's a young adult book, too, like, my best friend never reads young adult, and I was like, you have to read this book. And she was like, yeah, but it's, like, for teenagers. So I was like, no, you have to read this book. Like, it's done so well. And I was, okay, and I love mysteries where I'm surprised at the end, but I also could have figured it out. Does that make sense? Like, you have all the information to figure out the mystery, but trust me, you won't figure it out. Like, towards the end, I kind of thought, oh, I know what's going to happen. Because through the whole book, you're kind of like, did she, didn't she, did she, didn't she? And you don't really know. And there's no evidence to the contrary. I mean, like, they don't show you the scene early, so you know. I mean, like, literally, you don't find out till the last couple pages what happened. And then, what I love is, it's kind of like a double entendre, you know, like the name with Malice. Because it kind of, like, refers to the accident, and, like, was it with Malice or not? But it also, like, refers to Jill at the end. And who Jill is at the end of this book, like, after the accident and as a result of all of it, is, like, phenomenal. There were bits and pieces in here that were very much a, like, black comedy or dark comedy of, like, Mean Girls, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, if Mean Girls was not a comedy, but it was very real, because it is. I mean, I know teenage girls that are like that, but, like, you saw the real side behind it, right? If the veil had been lifted and you got to see how these girls really interacted with each other, like, that's in this book. And I kind of knew, like, what was gonna, like, happen before the end. My old neighbor is literally, like, standing right behind my patio, like, looking in here as I'm filming this video. It's just like, I literally should turn the camera around and show you guys, since you all comment on my, she's like this. I'm like, could you just go away? You're not even on your own property. Anyway, but some of the things that happen, like, you can kind of, like, figure out, like, I don't want to say this, but she and her roommate Anna, like, try to solve this one kind of mystery. Okay, there's, like, 5 or 6 things going into this main mystery that you have to figure out, and, or you don't have to, you can just read the book, right, and figure it out at the end, and when you read it, you'll be like, oh, mystery, but, like, as I read a mystery, I'm trying to figure it out, right? Like, if you're in a movie theater, aren't you trying to figure it out? Okay, so there's this one thing, and that is supposedly, like, this big surprise, and, okay, I figured it out, like, right away. Like, I knew as soon as it came up, I was like, oh, I know. That's what that's about. But, like, I didn't know how it would play out in the book. So it's done, like, very geniusly. Does that make sense? It'd be like if you were looking at a picture and it was like a banana, you know, if it was like a banana, this is such a stupid analogy, an orange, you know, I don't know, a pear, and then it said, what's the red fruit that's missing? And you go, apple, and they're like, oh yeah, and like a page later they reveal apple. It's like, oh, that's a really simple mystery, but you don't realize that like down the road, it's gonna be like a bundle of apples that comes rolling on the table, right? Like, I mean, it's done so fantastically, you guys. I have a feeling Philippe is not going to love this book. I'm not really sure why. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's an incredible summer read. I definitely think you don't have to read it in the summertime, but I definitely would read it in the summertime. I think any age group could read this and enjoy it. It's very, very sick at times, and I mean just the thinking that goes on, but I don't think it deserves any kind of censorship. The pros in the book are that, I mean, the mystery is just unbelievably developed so well, okay? And it's not like, the way I feel with A Woman in Cabin 10 is that in the last, you know, 20 pages, they're gonna like introduce something and be like, oh, there it is. And then you're like, oh, what a great mystery, because I never saw that coming. She introduces something about halfway through, and it's almost like a red herring, like a diversion for you to see what's right in front of your face as far as the mystery ending. So, and I'm not ruining anything. I mean, I'm telling you right now, you won't figure it out. So, and then the other pros are that Jill is real likable as a character, and so is her roommate Anna, but you don't really know if you can trust Anna or not. And then Simone, who's her best friend that dies in the car accident, her character develops through the book. Like, you don't really know what to think of her at first, and it kind of goes back and forth, which I think is genius writing as well, too. I don't know if it was intentional or if it just happened. And that's kind of how I feel about most of this book, is that I'm not sure if it was intentional or if it just happened. The cons on this book are that it cost me $19.99 to buy at Barnes & Noble. The other con was that I honestly think, had I been just reading this book on my own and not for a buddy reads, I may have put it down and did not finish it, because the first 50 pages are just, you don't really get right away that it's intentional, like the voice of the characters are intentional. I mean, it doesn't read like other young adult novels. I don't know how to explain that. So it's very confusing. I have to say that in certain ways, it reminded me a little bit of We Were Liars at the beginning by E. Lockhart, which I did not like that book at all. I think that is a Woman in Cabin 10 book, like where in the last 10 pages, let's reveal that, you know, this is what happened and let's love it and everybody should market it. I thought that book was bullshit. I hated it. The writing style is similar to this. Like if I had read this and it was and they said it was you know, another book by E. Lockhart, I wouldn't have been surprised. The voice is very similar. I don't know. I think I need to go read some more Eileen Cook. I really, really enjoyed her. Other than that, there really are no cons for me. I mean, I literally could have read this book in one setting. I would have wanted to. I read like 160 pages, you guys, like my second night, and I loved it. And I love, like, I know Philippe got very confused about the police reports and the interviews, but as you read them along, you almost look forward to them. They almost kind of like really support the bigger part. Plus, it really helps because you see the bigger picture. You see the other characters. There's like Facebook comments and Facebook statuses and blog entries, and you read all of that, and it's done very, very well. I've seen that done in other books where it seems trite and immature, but it's used purposefully in this book. So it's done very, very well. It's not just like teenagey BS. It's done, there's a purpose for all of it. So anyway, my only other con would be that I love Eileen Cook, but I think and I don't think there's anything with YA books. You guys know, my #1 pick is always a YA book. But she could write a fantastic adult mystery. I mean, she really could. She should be writing the next Girl on the Train. So, I mean, she's that good of a writer. So anyway, Eileen, if you're watching this, I loved it. You knocked my socks off. So anyway, I hope you guys like this review. If you'd like to see more reviews, leave it in the comment section below. Please give me 2 huge thumbs up. Well, I guess just 1 because you can't leave 2. Although my trolls seem to be able to leave 10 thumbs down. But anyway, trolls. What are you going to do, right? All right, and then please subscribe to my channel, and I will make more super content on videos because I love you guys. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'm just joking. You know it. All right, bye.